Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist and author. And so I am on again on another broadcast here on my Haps channel. So I am excited. And so, let me just get this together here. Oh, what we got going on here? Oh, what did I do? Okay, there we go. Let me see what we got here. Okay, there we go. Oh, all right. So I'm on about a minute earlier, so I'm gonna give folks a chance to show up because I am on about a good um, minute early. So, but again, I am Keith Gale, Belvin Crisis Specialist, award-winning author, all those things. And tonight, I want to talk about how therapy and counseling start at home, and it really does, because one of the things that I've found is that for therapy to really have an effect, for counseling to really have an effect. And I work with married couples. I work mostly with women, but I work with married couples. I work with men, and I work with some children. But I want to just speak to the couples. Um, is that, hey, how we doing, Queen? Hello, okay. And I'm here in Dover. Hello, good to see you, Queen. Thank you for the support the last couple of days. I appreciate you. And I want to talk about the couples because what happens is often one has to lead the other to therapy. And most of the time, believe it or not, it's the wife that will lead the man, but not all the time. And for therapy and for counseling, I'm just gonna keep it counseling. The going back and forth between therapy and counseling. I've noticed that some therapists bug out when they're not called therapists, and you call them counselors, and they start to trip out. I don't trip on the titles. Um, Whatever you want to call me, if you want to call me a counselor, you want to call me a therapist, whatever it is, I work with people. And what I find is that regardless of who convinces the other one to go, the only way that the therapeutic is going to work is if both agree. That's why I tell you it starts at home. Because the boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife have to come to a mutual understanding that we need help. Whereas my business coach, Glenn P. Brooks, says all the time, we all need some help. And he's 100% correct. And what I find is that that's where the real meat and potatoes start. Because you got to come to the table, and I'll use me as an example. If you come to me and both of you are honest and open and really want help, that makes my job so much easier in this capacity. I know that what I'm going to give you, I know that what we're going to talk about is going to be acted upon. Because if it's not, it's like pouring water into a bucket that has a hole in it. You can pour all the water that you want, eventually it's just going to run out. You can't fill the bucket. I can't fix a relationship if both people don't commit to coming to the table and want help and really want to see this repaired. So one of my early questions that I'll ask when I'm dealing with couples, do y'all love each other? And I want honest answers. Do y'all love each other? That's one. I wait for my answers. And then I'll ask, do you believe that this is fixable? Because just them being there is not good enough to think that it's fixable. They have to want to fix this. And then I listen for the answers. Now I might get answers of I don't know, I'm not sure, yes, all of that. And so, Tiff, what is the dog barking at? No, I was gonna say the dog is barking at y'all. The dog is barking at y'all. Oh, okay, gotcha. So, um, sorry, I got my dog is in there. I guess he knows I'm in here with my office and my door closed. He's trying to get at my daughter too. He doesn't like being in his cage. It is what it is. And so when the two of you come together and y'all are committed to this, we're good. And what I find when I see that there's a mutual agreement to wanting to fix this, you can sense it, especially when they admit to that they think it's fixable, or when they both say yes, that's even better. That's the ice cream. That's the, and again, I'm sorry for the dog barking in the background. that is the cream to this whole thing when they both say yes, we want to fix it, because now they're willing to put some work in, and that's where it starts, because now we can start to get to what's wrong. And if you're paying attention, if you're paying attention, body language tells you a lot too. I always look at how they sit. I don't say anything. I just say I want to be able to see both of you. Here's one of the things that you'll notice. The man will sit closer to the camera and the woman will lay back. Or, of course, opposite. The woman will sit up looking attentive and the man will sit back. What I'm looking for is his face when she's talking, her face when he's talking. And sometimes guys don't even know that they're doing it. Like, he'll be talking and I'm like, ooh. Or she's talking, he's all over the place. And I'm like, so when I say to you that this starts at home, it really does. And it really is something that you have to make the decision. We want to fix this. And it extends to single women and children too. I say the same thing to parents. Do you really want, if you're going to ask me to come work with your child, you got to be prepared to put the work in too. So again, it starts at home. And for the single women that I work with, when you come to me and say, Keith, I want to work with you, are you going to put that work in once this camera is off? Because I know that a lot of people keep going to social media and they're just absorbing so much negative information. Or they're absorbing information from these so-called gurus who, okay, they got a strong following. But people are not asking themselves why. Just because a person has a big following, just because a person sounds like they're talking about, they know what they're talking about, you could be putting your whole relationship or even your life in jeopardy. That's why I started tonight off with saying that it starts at home. It starts with you saying inside your house, I want to change this. Now, I want to go back to the couples. Now, we've all heard of the 5 love languages, right? I hope that you have. But if not, I'll run them down to you, right? 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, spending quality time, physical touch. And those love languages are actually a great, hold on one second. This is driving me crazy. Of course, he stopped. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Excuse me. It's driving me crazy. Let me see. Lift this up here. Okay. So I'll go back over the 5 love languages: the words of affirmation, the acts of service, the receiving of gifts, quality time, physical touch. Those things right there, if you just look at those 5 love languages, sometimes with couples, I will ask them to give me examples of all 5. Give me some words of affirmation you share with your wife. Give me some words of affirmation that you share with your husband. Give me some of those things, because I want to see if I got to pull teeth. I want to see if they're actually able to have a nice common bond or place to come from. Acts of service, like what do you guys do together? How do you guys serve the community? How do you guys serve each other? What do you how do you what's your acts of service? And those love languages are a great springboard into whatever counseling um, ideas you want to put into place. And it all starts inside the home. And if you're in a relationship and you haven't thought about that, and if you may be sitting and watching going, but I'm not in a relationship, how does this connect to me? Well, you can still ask yourself, how do you do those things for yourself? What are your words of affirmation for self? What are your acts of service? How do you treat yourself? What gifts do you treat yourself? How do you spend your quality time, and where do you get your physical touch from? And I'm not just talking in an intimate way of you're single. How do you interact with people? Whatever that is. Now, if it is in an intimate way, if you need that, if you're a male or female who's out here single and you need that physical touch, where do you get that from? Because that says a lot too. And again, it all starts with you. And my goal tonight was just to give you something to think about, simply because the idea is we don't stop and consider um, how we can put some things into motion simply in our house before you decide to pay somebody to sit down and talk with somebody. What have you done inside the home? And the reason why I'm leaning back to couples, because I had a conversation with a couple um, the other day, and yeah, it was actually last week. I'm sorry, and they just seem so anti each other. They just it seemed like pulling teeth. It seemed like they really didn't want to be there with me. And in comparison to some of my other couples who really put the work in, do the homework, yes, I give homework. I'm a counselor who gives homework. I do. I give you homework. I give you some questions to answer. I give you some things to do because, again, I'm trying to build some, I'm trying to help rebuild something. I'm trying to help fuse things together in a positive way. Yeah, you're going to get some homework. Nothing too extensive. And most time I'm seeing my clients every 2 weeks when it's some of the couples. So you got time, but yeah, I give homework. And so back to that other couple, I felt bad because I'm trying to cut through, and it's not even tension, just dismay. And they literally was like, so I had to ask, I said, I want to go back to something. A couple weeks ago, I asked you both the question: did you love each other? And do you believe that this is reclaimable, fixable? You both said yes. So I want to ask, why are you bringing such tension to the session? Please share with me. And Lord, the floodgates opened up. Lord, it's almost like they were waiting on that question. And I like to let folks get it out. Go ahead, air yourself out. Go ahead, get it out. And then I'm going to take control. So I let them both rock out with what was wrong. And then I said, okay, let me see if I heard you correctly. And again, guys, if you are ever dealing with anybody in business, or when you're dealing with people, always be able to repeat some of, if not all of what they said, by simply saying, let me make sure I got you correct. And then you go ahead and run it down. So for both of them, I said, let me make sure I got correct what you said. I ran down what both of them said. Is that correct? They both said yes. And now I had to ask them, I said, how do you feel about, and then I repeated some of what they said. And it was interesting how now when the tables were turned and I'm asking them questions, you could see how uncomfortable they became. You could see how they didn't really have answers. So you two have been fighting. It was like the Hatfields and McCoys. You've been fighting so long that you don't remember what you were fighting about. You've been disliking each other for so long that you don't even know why you dislike each other, but yet you don't want to leave each other and admit that you want to be with each other. So let's go back to the 5 love languages, because I think right there, I think it's something that we should pay attention to, because you know we don't have to go out and recreate the wheel. Hold on, let me just fix this here. We don't have to go out and recreate the wheel. Sometimes what you got to do is just simply, you have to hold on. All right. Okay. Hmm. Got you. You don't have to go out and redo everything. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Sometimes the only thing you need to do is just find a system, or find something that somebody else has already created. Just make it work. And you know how I know that? Let me tell you why I know that works. I had to learn that for business. I was all over the place with my businesses a couple years ago. I had multiple things I was trying to do, and I'm driving myself crazy. So I finally buckled down and said, "Let me get a coach that can help me. Let me get a coach that's gonna show me what to do." And I was like, "All right, coach, I need your help, because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not sure, because I just feel like I'm all over the place." And I had paid attention to the way that he rocks with things. And I was, it was exciting for him to teach me his system. And now I'm learning it and I'm using it and I'm implementing. So it feels better to have guidance and somebody to talk to because I have my discovery sessions with him. And as he says, and I agree, if your coach or your counselor doesn't have a coach or a counselor, if your coach doesn't have a coach and if your counselor doesn't have a counselor, get rid of them. Because who are they turning to? So when I say don't reinvent the wheel, don't. And that's for you single folks too. But I'm sticking with my couples. Words of affirmation. Let me speak to the brothers a second. Men, listen to me. There should be nothing wrong with you finding smooth and sensual and real words for your lady. There should be no one should have to coax you to do that. Yeah, I'm speaking to the brothers. No one should have to say to you, find a way to affirm your woman if you really like being with her. And ladies, let's turn that around. No one should have to tell you to affirm your man. If y'all are together, why are y'all not doing this? Because that's an extension of what you're supposed to feel for each other. Because if you don't feel that and that's not there, why are y'all together? And I'm not advocating divorce and I'm not advocating anybody just get rid of their relationship. What I'm saying is if you can't do that, why? Let's move on. Acts of service. Y'all can't come together and put yourselves together to work on something, to do something, to support each other, to service whoever? Really? Again, that gives you a chance to work together, to be a team, to help somebody else other than yourself, which then brings you closer together. Oh my gosh. Somebody has to tell you to do that. Number 3, receiving gifts. Now, this one right here, I don't understand. I don't understand how men don't rock out with this one, knowing that ladies love little gifts, trinkets, or big gifts, whatever. Women love gifts. Now, I'm not telling you to go out here and buy diamond rings, Rolexes, or Audis, or Benzes if you can afford it. Okay, those are great gifts too. But sometimes the little gifts, sometimes the little surprise gift, sometimes the gift of, I know she had a hard day, I'm gonna cook dinner. And if you're the person busting your behind, okay, you can still grab her little something. Say, I was thinking about you here. I listened to Kevin Samuels today, and I don't like to put words on anybody. I don't like to put negativity on anybody. Everybody has their own lane. But I was listening to him, and I just got frustrated because he said a high value man, a woman should consider herself lucky to have a high value man, and that he's not cheating, he's exercising options. I don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way. Because I said, this brother just sat here and tried to justify that the woman should accept that this man is going to go do whatever because he's of high value. And I've seen this subtle attack on monogamy grow more and more. I hear it more and more where people are, monogamy is not something that we are supposed to be. Like, we're supposed to just go out and hump everybody. And then I started thinking of all the people that follow him and rock with that. But ain't nothing I could do about it. It just didn't. And it made me start thinking that if a man thinks like that, would he then, is he going to get his lady gifts if he feel that she needs to be lucky that she's with him? Is that high value man going to treat her like a partner or an underling? So why would he ever buy her gifts with that mindset? But to each his own. But receiving gifts and giving gifts, that should be a part of your relationship. And again, it don't have to be. Sometimes, you know what, you just saw a cute flower that you snatched up and said, baby, I was thinking about you. Sometimes just coming in and go, I left work a little early because I wanted to come home and hang out with you. Everything doesn't have to be store bought. Everything doesn't have to be grandiose. Sometimes the giving and receiving gifts just has to be something subtle to let somebody know you care. And if you don't have those things in a relationship, I'm going to say it again. Why are you together? And if you lost that, why don't you get it back? Why don't you get it back? Number 4, quality time. Now, this one goes to both of you, male and female. If you both are working and out here grinding, I feel you. I get it. Here's what you need. Where is it? Where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's mine? There it is. Calendar. I block off my time at a certain point on Saturday until Monday morning. No clients. From a certain time Saturday afternoon, most time early, to Monday morning, no clients. That is my time with my family. That is my time to sit down and play Monopoly with my daughter. That is the time to hang out with my wife. Because quality time has to be that quality. And you need to schedule it. It should not be an afterthought. It should not be, let me see what I can do and we try to get together. No, that's not quality. Your quality time is the time that you and your significant other recharge your batteries and your love batteries. That's the time when if you got children, you plan to get it in. Like, okay, when they go to sleep tonight, you know what this is, right? Okay, let's make it happen. And it's important that you understand that. But somehow in this country, we have gotten to the point where romance or being romantic can't happen unless we're into something sexual. It seems like romance. It's like just the subtle things of romance. Just and it seems like men have gotten to the point that they can't be romantic. It's like it's not tough. It's not manly to be romantic. Really, really. When did we get there? And again, let me just say, you're watching Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist and award-winning author, and I'm talking tonight about therapy and counseling started home. And I'm just reading through the 5 love languages because I'm speaking to my couples tonight. But all of my single folks and my parents can take this from their point of view as well, because what you're going to find is that it applies to all. But I wanted to speak to my couples tonight because I just find that as a counselor, I noticed that a lot of folks um, that are in relationships are struggling. I know a lot of it has to do with COVID. I know that. I know COVID has created a problem for many of us. I know that. I know COVID has stopped us from doing a lot of things. And I also know that COVID has caused us to be in the house with somebody we don't really like. I've seen that. I have seen that COVID has caused us to be in the house with people we do not like and we don't know what to do. I'm just sitting there trying to fix this here. And because COVID has put us in the house with people we don't like, we don't know how to make it better. So it just got inherently worse. So number 4 was quality time. And I'm not talking about the type of time, okay, the day is over and you're bent out and you just come and drop down on the bed and y'all are watching TV. If that's your quality time, so be it. I'm talking about really just hanging out, enjoying each other, playing with the video games, playing some cards, cooking together, just things that you do together as a family, things that you do together as a couple. And it doesn't require money. That's why COVID should not be an excuse that you can't spend quality time, because that keeps you safe and keeps you both alive. So how could that be a problem? Quality time. Number 5, the last one, physical touch. And this is again number 5 of the 5 love languages that connect to how counseling and therapy starts at home. Physical touch. I'm not talking sex. Is sex part of physical touch? Mm-hmm. And if you have a great sex life, keep getting it in. But I'm talking about physical touch. I'm talking about the kiss on the forehead when you're going to bed if she's still up. I'm talking about the pat on the behind as he or she goes by. I'm talking about the unscheduled hug and grab just to say, hey, come here, let me give you a kiss. The holding of hands, the watching of television and nestling in each other's arms. The idea of when in the bathroom passing by and just you put your hands on the waist and you put your hands on his back when you go by. Just the sensual touch to let someone know that they're present and that you're present and that you're enjoying that they're there. That used to be something. And I'm not old school because I'm not going to let that be considered old school because physical touch and the appreciation of your significant other should never be considered old school. Should never be considered, that's what them old cats. No. Ain't a person on this planet that does not enjoy positive physical touch. And all of this starts at home. That's why counseling starts at home. Often people could fix what's wrong with them long before they come to me. Now, if there's extenuating situations that come from your past as a child and stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to deal with that. But overall, a lot of relationships could be fixed if you just pick a system and then ask yourself some very difficult questions. Go through the 5 love languages like I just did tonight. And if you said no to any of those things I said tonight, that's a great starting point to repair your relationship. But somehow we missed that. And I became a counselor. I'm working on opening my private practice because I'm trying to build mental health ministries. I'm trying to get the church to understand that people need help, that couples need guidance, that single women need assistance, that single brothers out here need to know what's going on. And there's a lot of children struggling. And the church should be providing that. They have the resources, they have the buildings, and they have the people. And that's why I'm trying to create my own practice because I want to be able to supply that and have people feel comfortable. I want people to feel comfortable that they're in the hands of somebody who cares about them and wants to see them grow. That's why I work with single women. That's why I work with couples. That's why I work with children. And let me tell you how it works. Single women first, couples second, then children. But what about the men? Whenever the men show up, I'm here. Because here's what I found about a lot of men who come to counseling. They will show up until we start to get to some of the more difficult issues, and then they disappear. They'll come up with every excuse about not being able to come, and I don't stress because I'm not going to force you to come to me. Women, when they make the decision to come, they show up and they keep showing up and they get better. Some brothers, they're so worried about their ego that even when they know that we're getting to the source of the things that they need to do, they don't do it. And it just drives me crazy. But I'm here for them. But the single women I work with, I'm going to tell you why. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I work with single women because when single women ask for help, they will act on the help that is given. And then they will tell men, brothers, fathers, sons, boyfriends, husbands, they will say, go talk to that man. And men, even though they might not want to come, will listen to the lady and go, okay, look, my mom, my sister, my daughter, my girl, my wife told me I should come. Okay, I'm here, let's go. If they get you here, I'm gonna do my best to keep you here. But if you now panic and jump off ship, okay, no problem. So before I close, guys, and I'm trying to make this a regular every other day, every couple of days. I'm not gonna try to do this every day. I'm just, I am learning. I'm not built for social media like that. And I know that might be the difference between me and seven figures, eight figures, or whatever numbers they're floating around out here on social media. After a while, it becomes monopoly money to me. But I am going to come on to try to share and tell my story and try to let you know what I do. This is a new app for me. I like it. So I'm going to try to come on every other day or something like that. But I will put out uh, a lead in so you know when I'm going to be on so you can schedule yourself to come on and support. I hope that you will share. I hope that you will tell other people to come and check me out. I'm not sure how many people are watching. I know I'm on a couple different platforms. I'll go back. And if you are watching via replay, make sure that you drop your comments, but put hashtag replay and I will reach out and respond to you. And if you have subjects that you are interested in that you like, Keith, I'd like you to cover this or talk about this, reach out. I'm on Facebook, Keith KL Belvin, Instagram, Keith KL Belvin, LinkedIn, Keith KL Belvin, Twitter, KL_Belvin. I am on all platforms. You can find me. Just look for Keith KL Belvin. Reach out to me and tell me what you think. And again, more importantly, if you need help, if you need assistance, if you need to talk to somebody, if you go, I like what you do, but I need to speak to somebody directly, I'm here. I got a few more openings. I got about 6. No, I'm waiting for the insurance company. I think 5. I got about 5 more openings because once I get to a certain amount, that's it for me. Because again, I'm not spending every hour. Not doing that no more. Them days is over. That's another reason why I won't make 7, 8 figures. I'm not working. I'm not team no sleep. Them days is behind me. But if you want to reach out, www.bravin, BRAVIN, as it says right here on the screen. Bravin, let me just turn that so you can see it. Bravin Consulting. That's the publishing company. Go there if you want to purchase my books. BravinConsulting.com. BravinConsultants.com. BravinConsultants.com. Reach out, and I will gladly set up a free call. First call is free. First call you don't pay. The first session is free because I may not be the person that can help you. I believe that I am. I will go all out if I am. But if I'm not, then my first rule as a therapist, do no harm. If I can't help you, I will not hurt you. I'm not going to take your money, and I know I'm not skilled enough to deal with your problem. I know what problems I can and cannot and will not work with. So as you fill out my little questionnaire to tell me some things about you, when I read it, I'll go, I don't think I can deal with that, but I'll have a conversation with you and I'll say, look, I can refer you to somebody who can help you because I'm not going to take your money and I can't help you. If I take your money, it's because I know I can get in this fight and fight with you. But again, bravenconsultants.com if you're interested in connecting with me. I'm definitely interested in connecting with you and other people like yourself. I am Keith KL Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, educator, and more importantly, a man of God who wants to help other people. I pray that this has been enjoyable. I pray that you got something from that. And I will see you in a day or two on the next broadcast. Thank you again. Make sure that you like, share, and again, tell people that you know that they should get to know me. Because as I say, and I will say, bring me your pain. And what does that mean? It simply means bring me your pain, bring me your problems. I'm here for it. I'm ready. Bring me your pain means bring me your problems. And my other hashtag, we can fix this. And that means when you and I come together, we can figure out a way to fix what's wrong. But I cannot do that until you let me in. I cannot fix what I do not know. I want you to have a wonderful evening. I want you to be safe. No matter what people have told you, there's still a pandemic going on. Be safe. I look forward until the next broadcast. Take care. God bless. I will see you soon. Take it easy.